Hey guys, how's it going? I'm doing this live session with Dennis right now, so I'm just waiting for him to show up, and then we're probably gonna get started with this. Let me just get this started, and then we can kick off this session. All right, a few more things to change here in the room real quick. All right, I think it's, yeah, there we go, all done. All right, so for this session, it's gonna be a one-on-one with Dennis, so I'm not gonna be able to answer any questions, guys, but you guys can sit in and watch if you guys like. So let me just send this link to a few people here. Yo, Dennis, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Hey, bro, how's it going? Yeah, I can hear you. You good? All right, cool. So let's get started. So I think you wanted to cover the scalping strategy, right? Or was there something else you wanted to cover before that?
You know, it's the scalping strategy. I feel like I'm understanding. I just want to confirm that I understand it. I've been playing with it since last night, just anxiously waiting for this moment. But yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, the market's kind of weird this week, so it's been a lot harder to catch things. A lot easier than it was like, you know, the other days because it's NFP. So the market's been moving a little crazy. Last week it was a lot easier to catch trades, but this week it's kind of going back and forth. So I'm not sure if you ran into something that was an issue or something that confused you, because maybe we can pull back to that if there's like a specific trade that you were confused about.
Oh no, not even not specifically any one. Just basically the get down as soon as it's ready to go in. So I'm trying to learn to decipher when I'm supposed to jump in on a sell and a buy. So far, what I've got is you go in for buys, obviously off the buy signal on a more bullish trend, using the pivots and the and the resistance or support zone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're spot on with that. I mean, there's different ways. Like if you want to be really sure, you can probably wait for it to reject off this point. Like if you were you technically could have taken this trade right here. I don't know if you can see my screen, but right here, it wasn't in a bullish trend, but it was shifting. So you can see right here, it wasn't a downtrend, right? All right, you see my screen right here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So right here was in a downtrend, but you can see right here that there was an actual entry in the other direction. So like right here, we had the rejection off the pivot, this yellow pivot right here. And then it was also a rejection off the structure right here, the support resistance. So with that said, if you saw this, you could have taken this for a scalp in the other direction right here. I know it's a little risky. It's like, this is something that you kind of pick up over time. Like, I know like it's new to you, so you kind of want to be careful and, only take it when it's trending in a direction. But for me, if I was able to identify this, I would have seen this as a move, and then I would have taken this, right there for a full TP. I think we took this actually during the live session or something like that. But yeah, basically this would be the entry. And then if you wanted to catch it when it was already in an uptrend, you could have just waited for this one right here. You see how this candle popped up? This would have fit it as well because we had a rejection off the pivot, that green pivot right there. And then it was also rejecting off the support resistance right here as well. So if you wanted to take this, you could have done this as well right here, for pretty much the same thing. So it just depends on how careful you want to be.
Okay.
But yeah, if you waited for that there, that would have hit TP as well. So you could have taken both, or if you wanted to be careful, you could have waited for the trend to actually shift. And then from that point, you could have taken this one as well.
Okay, so seeing it like that, would I be okay? So to know, okay, not off this one right here, but the one that you just showed me before this one, to know that it, like you said, it was a downtrend, but you got in for a scalp right before it actually started shooting back up. What actually At what point does it actually show? What point do you go, okay, now it's about to go up. I can go on for this scalp.
So there's not really an easy way to say it. It's something that I see from experience because I see these patterns all the time when, you know, price shifts from trend to trend. So you can see right here, price was trending up. Like if we just look at this right here, price was trending up. And then, you know, obviously it's in an uptrend right here, but you see price break below the pivots right here. And then you can kind of tell, like, I don't know if you see what I see, but I can kind of see that it's probably going to be shifting the other direction.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
come out there.
So for example, right here, if we were following this, we wait for it to reject off it. I mean, technically this would have been an entry right here because you would have the rejection off the pivot right there, that orange pivot, and then also off the structure. So if you saw that right there, you could have entered this for a short right there. And then if you were to let this run, I would have hit TP as well right there. You see what I'm saying? So it's pretty simple, I think. But for you, since it's new, it's like, you know, you kind of overthink it a little bit. For me, I don't really overthink it because I know what I'm looking for. If I see the rejection off the pivot and the structure, I just hop in. I don't even think about it. Like, you know, for you, you kind of want to be a little careful because it's new to you, so you don't really you're not familiar with this. But the more and more you apply it, like you don't even really think about it at that point because you're scalping, so you're literally just getting in and out real quick. So like, for example, you would have taken this entry right here. Technically, there's another one right here, right next to it, that red candle. So if you wanted to stack those positions, you could have had two of them running at the same time right there. And then there's actually four of them right here, bro. There's one, two,
right after it too.
three.
And
Yeah,
after it.
yeah, exactly. So if you took like a smaller position, you know, normally you'd probably take maybe, I don't know what like position sizes you take.
I'm going 0.01s, man. I'm using Hugo's way as well.
Okay, yeah. So for each position, you're locking in like $50 each. So, you know, it's a decent risk to take because you're only risking like $50. But the payout right here is crazy because if you hit all these four right here, or five actually, it's five right here. If you hit all five,
it kept going.
Yeah, it kept going. So sometimes you'll hit hot streaks like this. This is where it gets a little risky because I do mention this that I stack trade sometimes, but I don't always do it because sometimes you might get the short end of the stick. Like you might be at the end when the trend's about to shift.
Oh yeah, I've lost a lot like that, man.
Yeah. So I think like for now, you should probably just do like one at a time. And then once you get comfortable and you're really confident, like you're like, you know, I got this, then you can start stacking them. Cause you know, like you said, it's happening not just to you, but like to everyone where you kind of get caught up in some bad moves. Cause the market could be moving crazy. Like right here, I think this is London open. So you see there's a lot of volatility right here. If you're looking like an Asia session over here, it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
And you get into some fake outs right here. Like there's some entries right here. Actually, these are not that bad. There's a couple right here as well. Like, so this would have been a bad entry right here. Because right here, we have the rejection. And you could have stacked these two right here. I mean, it would have been like two losses. And then if you took these right here, you would have had five. So you would have covered it anyways. But it just, you know, it's a case by case basis, like where you'll like have a couple losses. It depends on your risk. Cause like for me, I already know the win rate's going to be high. So I'll probably stack these and eat these losses. But then as I move over to this side over here, you know, I'll have like one or two losses right here. And then once it swings back in this direction, or actually there's a couple entries right here. Like we could have a couple of sells right here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like a whole bunch right here. So like 6 entries right here. You know, I would eat these two losses. And then if I wanted to take it this way, I probably could have locked in some profits over here as well. Yeah, so these all hit full TP as well. So you can kind of see where, like, you know, depending on your risk, it depends if you want to take a lot of trades. If you want to take a lot of trades, then just lower your lot size if possible. But if not, then probably just take one. Because the way that I do it is if I have one loss in one direction, like for example right here, if I had this one loss right here, I would stop taking buys. I wouldn't stack on this one, and I would just wait for it to shift the other direction, and I would take trades in this direction until I get a loss, and then I'll stop taking trades in that direction, wait for it to swing up, and then take trades in this direction over here. Because it's like a back and forth process. I mean, obviously, you know how scalping works. You kind of have to be on the screen and paying attention. But yeah, I mean, you could have 2 losses there, 1 loss, 1 win here, or 6 wins if you took all these right here, and then a couple wins right here as well, and then some more wins on this side. So you can see that it kind of compounds, like it adds up over time. Like if you were sitting here staring at the chart for, let's see, it's only been like 8 hours. Even if you're just sitting on right here for 5 hours, you still would have locked in a bunch of profit right here even after you ate those losses. So you kind of get it?
Yeah, no, I definitely. I see
Okay,
that.
perfect.
And see, I'll be sometimes I'm not worried about it, man. Sometimes I scalp the scalps, man, just so I know when I get nervous and I see drawdown and it start hitting me with that little that anxiety. As soon as I get back in,
You take a break, yeah.
yeah, I take it a little bit. So even on a quick scout, like sometimes you guys will shoot for the 500. I'm good at the 75. I'm good at the 100.
Exactly. Yeah, no, 100%. And that's pretty much how I take it on too. Like, if you don't want to stack these positions, you could always just take like one big position on, or not a big position, but a decent sized position on that first move. And then instead of taking, those multiple scalps, you could have just taken one and then let that run. And if it doesn't play out, then just wait for it to shift in the other direction.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, this thing's pretty crazy though. I don't know. I never thought about this before because I was applying this on my own. The only difference was that I wasn't using the zones. I was just using the rejections off these pivots. Whenever I saw a rejection off it, I would take the trade, and I would have like more losses. So I kind of figured out that maybe there's another confirmation that I needed. And now that I added in the SR zones, it's like been like crazy. It's just been like super profitable for the past. I think I started this like in January, early January. So for the whole month, it's just been crazy.
Oh yeah, I've been watching. I know.
You've been watching, you've been in the live sessions, huh? They've been like pretty crazy when you hit them live. It's
Oh
pretty on
yeah,
point.
I stumbled up on you. I don't even know, man. I jumped on YouTube and I watched a lot of videos, man. But US 30 popped up. I was like, let me see what this is about. And it was you. And I watched. I was like, is this live? Like right now, live? And I got my phone and checked it. I was kind of amazed. I was like, everybody's tapped in and making money, and y'all was just live, man. So I was like, oh yeah, I got to get in here. Then I did the little $50 subscription, got a little dose of it, and then thought I learned enough. Got out without it, learned a little bit, was still doing it, but I was like, nah, these profits could be way better. So I was like, yeah, I got to jump back in.
Yeah, the main money is like when you start doing when you start applying it yourself. Because when I'm doing signals, like you don't get as many signals, obviously, and these scalps are kind of hard to call because they happen so quickly. Like right here, if you were to take this trade, it hit in like 5-10 minutes right here. I don't have time to send up a signal, and by the time I send it out, we're already out in profit.
But yeah, I already know it. Yeah, that's all. I was usually taking it daily, and then once I was actually cutting my hair when you guys jumped on and started first talking about the snipe one, and I was just listening. I sat there. I actually recorded the whole thing for the 2 hours, and I was like, man, if they master this would be nice.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. There's a lot of people in the group that are actually making more profit than me. So I'm like, damn, like that's how it works if everyone's doing it during other times. Because we got people like from all over. So we have people like applying it during London session and they're making a ton of profit. We have people applying it during Asia session. And I'm like, damn, it really works like all throughout the day.
Yeah, man. 24
Yeah.
hours.
And at first I thought it was only the 10-minute until like other people started showing me like the 30-minute, the 4 hour. I was like, dang, it really, really works. Like it works on any time frame, any asset, really, like anything that moves. You can just apply it. So it's pretty nice. Like I saw this one guy, Vincent, he was applying it on Bitcoin over the weekend. And I was like, damn, like you can make money like literally every day. Like it's not just, during the week on US 30. You can do like Asia session and do something like, I don't know, one of the Asian pairs, like the GJ pair or like UJ and a couple other ones as well. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I still got to find out because this is brand new. I just thought of this like last month. So I'm still testing it, figuring out, what else can I change to make it better. But I think for the most part, it's pretty good as it is. I don't think we really need to change too much.
Now, other than this, yeah, no, I got that. I appreciate that. Now, other than this, now I just registered for my FTMO. I didn't do the challenge yet. I'm doing the free one because I wanted to make sure I understand before I jump in because I want to jump in and just hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. So what do you actually suggest with the FTMO instead of like straight tell like now I understand the scalping now. I was doing all right by myself, but the scalping is just I see that's gonna just help influence guaranteed wins for for to the next level for that one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because for scalping, like you can make way more. Like for the daily, I think I was averaging maybe like 5-10% a month. But now that I'm scalping, it's like, dude, I can make a whole lot in like one day.
Yeah,
and I could just hang out like the rest of the month if I really wanted to. But yeah, if you're so do you plan on just scalping or do you plan on taking the daily interest too on your FTMO?
Honestly, I'll be doing a little bit of both, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what account size are you gonna do?
That was my next question. What do you feel like is more worth it? I see they got that. That of course, man. That 100,000 is where it's at.
Yeah, the 100,000 is where it's at because you'll make the most profit. I guess it would just depend on how confident you are with your trading, right? Because you don't want to hop into the 100,000 not be 100%. Like, that's it's 690 for that deposit, for the challenge. Which if you pass it, it's not a big deal because you're gonna get it refunded anyways. But if you're not 100%, it's a big risk there, depending on how you want to trade it. Because depending on your account size, that's gonna dictate what lot sizes you use. So I personally don't recommend anything under 50K because it's just really not worth your time to do. You might as well just trade, a personal account because I kind of did the math on it. Like for example, if you're doing what is it? Let me just pull up FTMO real quick. I forgot the account sizes. I think the smallest is 10K. So if you're doing I'll pull it up right here real quick. All right. So if you're doing the smallest account size, 10K, you just got to think about, well, so like this is the main thing too. If you're doing FTMO for money, like if you need the money, then obviously you're gonna have to go with the higher account size. Because if you're doing the 10K, or the 10K, 10% of 10,000 is only a thousand, and you're gonna be trading and not getting profit for like maybe 1-2 months. So depending if you need the money, then you probably just want to go up because if you pass the 10K and then you try to do the 100K after, and you pass the 10K but don't pass the 100K, you kind of wasted your shot right there. You could have just had the 100K right away. And if you're not going to get paid for maybe like 2 months, or 1 or 2 months, because you got a 30-day period for the challenge, but you can technically pass it within 10 days. You have one good scalping day, you could literally hit that profit target in one day. So it just really depends. I mean, you'll pass it within 20 days minimum. So you got to expect to not get paid for at least 20 plus 30, about 2 months, because they'll take about 20 days minimum to pass the challenge and verification. And then you got to trade a whole month on the funded account before you make any profit at all. So if you're trading FTMO for the money, it's not really going to make sense for you to do the 10,000 because 10% of that's only 1,000. So if you have like a decent month and you just hit profit target and you make a 10% growth from that funded account, you're only going to make about 1,000, maybe 2,000. And you're going to waste the whole 2-3 months trying to reach that. So if you do that, I mean, this is the 10,000. If you're doing the 25,000, 10% of that's going to be 2,500. I mean, this is a little better, but it's still not really there, because you're wasting 3 months to build this account and you're only going to make like about this much, maybe 25 to maybe 5,000 or 2,500 to 5,000, depending on, how well your scalping goes. So obviously you can see the scale goes up, right? It goes from making like maybe 1,000, 2,000 for that whole session, or 2,500 to 5,000 with the 25K. The real money starts to come in when you're doing the 50K, because if you're doing the 50K, 10% of that is 5,000. So if you're hitting that profit target, well, you don't have to hit the profit target once you're funded, but if you're scalping every day, you're probably going to hit that within by the week. So this is how much you'll probably lock in weekly, if not monthly, if you take it easy. So it just depends on how you trade. If you're really aggressive and you scalp every single day and you're like waiting for those entries, you can easily hit the profit target. But I mean, you can see the difference here, right? It's a huge difference from the 10,000 to the 25,000 to the 50,000. Like 50,000 seems like a good sweet spot, but like we talked about earlier, the 100K is like really where it's at, because 10% of 100K is 10K. So if you could profit nicely doing the scalps every day, you can lock in a couple thousand, maybe like if we're thinking conservatively, because realistically, if you're doing the US 30 scalp that I do, you're technically only making like 500 per trade. So if you do 500, say you take like, I don't know, 10 scalps, right? 10 winning scalps. You make about 5,000 off that, and then we'll just count like maybe a couple losses, maybe like 4 losses. Because if you're doing it conservatively, minus 500, minus 500, minus 500, minus 500, you're still going to lock in, a pretty decent amount for that week or for that day, depending on how aggressive you're trading. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. I personally am always going to say, nothing below 50K, but if you want to start with something lower, you can do that as well. So it's really up to you, bro. Like however you feel like doing it.
No, it almost sounds like I might as well go ahead and run up one of my credit cards and just do the FTMO challenge off my own funds, man.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's why if you're gonna do something smaller than the 50K, you might as well trade on your own. Because if you're trading on your own, say you're doing Hugo's way, with the smallest lot size, each trade you're gonna make about $50. So if we do the same math we did earlier, you trade, you make about what 10 or we'll do like 15 wins, maybe 15 wins for the entire week for like 1 week. 15 wins, you're locking like 750 right there, 750, and then we'll count like maybe like 5 losses, right? So minus 50, minus 50, minus 50, minus 50, minus 50. You're still locking about $500 on like your personal. And then if you just keep stacking this, every week times 4, you can make about 2,000. So realistically, if you're doing the 10,000, you're only making 1,000 profit in like 3 months. You could be making more trading your own account.
Yeah.
So it's that's my reasoning behind not doing anything under 50, but it really depends on your confidence. If you're 100%, then you might as well go higher. If you're still like iffy, you're not 100% yet, then maybe go lower or just keep doing the trial until you're like ready to go. Because those 3 months is a long time. You got to think about that time, bro. Like if you're working on this 10K for 3 months and then you're like you pass and you decide to do the 100K after, you technically aren't going to be really making a lot of money until like 3-6 months in, right? You got to think about that because it's a lot of time on your hands. So it just really depends on how you want to do it.
Okay. No, definitely. No, I jumped in there this morning, man. I see they got a lot of good features in there on as far as learning and learning how to actually jot down all your information and keep track of what you're doing. So yeah, I'm gonna stay in a little demo for now and then just play with my own account.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best. That's the best thing to do. And then when you're fully ready, then do FTMO because you don't want to, do the challenge and then blow it because, you fall off track. Because what happens with a lot of people is like they have a session with me, they feel confident, they feel like they got it, and then once they actually do it, it all falls apart. Your whole plan goes to shit. And it's like it happens all the time, because sometimes people like what I've seen is people have like 5 back-to-back wins on the scalps and they get super big headed, bro. They go from like a 0.10 and then they're like, all right, I'm a pro. But they go to a standard lot and that one trade they take loses and they blow the whole thing. And I'm like, if you just stuck to the plan and kept it to that estimated risk, like for me, I know I'm losing or making $500 per trade. So like for me, I have a max loss of 10,000, right? So 10,000 is my max loss. Once I have this, I lose my account. If you divide that by 500, I could have 20 back-to-back losses, and odds of that happening are not very likely. So you kind of just gotta trade smart with it, and that's why I stick to my plan. I never get greedy. I don't try to like increase my lot size because I feel super confident or because I get greedy and want to make more money. I'm happy with making a couple thousand a day, and then for me, I have multiple accounts, so that's like times 3. So it adds up for the most part.
Yes, sir. No, that's cool, man. No, thank you. I appreciate all of it, man. That helps a lot.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I mean, yeah, I want to make sure you're fully confident and you know exactly what's going on. Because I feel like a lot of people do FTMO without even thinking about it. Like, for me and you, we sat in on the session. And I was able to break it down for you. But for a lot of people, they just hop into it because they get super confident, and then it just doesn't go as planned.
Yeah, man. You hear that free money you're counting that right there. It's like, wow. It wowed me. I was like, yeah, let me see what this is about. But yeah, I like to read stuff, man, because I'm not just gonna jump in and blow it.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, FTMO is I mean, this isn't like the end all be all, this is just the vehicle for me to get to where I need to go. Like for me, I'm doing this. And then when I make profits from this, I move this to my personal account so I can, make more profit. Because I'm technically trading like 5 accounts. I'm trading FTMO and I'm also trading like 2 personal accounts as well. So
Big dog.
yeah, because the thing with FTMO is like you never know if anything's going to happen where they change the rules and they just make it less profitable for you. So I'm just using this as a vehicle to keep stacking and then moving that to my personal account. And then from there, when I make my own, I'll probably just do my own thing at that point. But I mean, FTMO is a blessing, bro. It's made a huge difference with my trading because they have so many requirements where it's like you got to trade. You can't trade like an idiot. You got to trade like a pro to stay in the game because people like lose accounts all the time with FTMO, just going off track. But it's taught me to become a more responsible trader for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man, that's cool. Yeah, now if I got more questions, man, I'm sure I'll be able to get in on you on the chats or something. So yeah, I'm done. I'm done right now. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Yeah, if you have any other questions, just reach out or send me a message, depending on how detailed your response needs to be. But I'm here to help, bro, if you need anything.
For sure, man. Appreciate it. You have a good one.
Definitely, bro. You too, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Oh yeah, we in the markets.
Definitely.